Welcome to the unit guide tutorial for the new unit in your humanities class titled Hunter-Gatherers. On the Google Classroom, you will see a link to a unit guide called Hunting and Gathering. It's the cool way to live, because it's the only way to live. In this unit, you are going to be studying with a small group. Yes, I've chosen your group already for you. You'll be studying with a small group the beginning of civilization, where people were hunting and gathering and making cave paintings in places where they would stop. And so I'm going to guide you through this unit guide. At the beginning, on page 1, it tells you what your group will need. Each of you, each and every one of you, will find the definitions to all of the vocabulary words that are listed on this guide. They're listed on page 2, right here. But there's also an assignment on the Google Classroom. You will follow the directions on the assignment to write down the definitions of those vocabulary words and then submit that assignment. I would suggest you do this all in week 1. Then you will find out who your partners are in your group. I've already chosen them for you. They're on pages 3 through 6. Here's Umpquas. Each group has a number, group 1, group 2, group 3, and so on, and it also has a name after it. For example, group 1 here is Lascaux, and group 2 is Sierra de Capavera, and, sorry group 3, your name is Kakadu. Anyhow, these are cave painting areas of the world, and groups of people came to these places and left paintings in them. And so you're going to be studying about these groups of people using the caves as kind of a home base for your study. Going back to the top, you will also have to make a food menu for your Paleolithic restaurant. You're going to create a Paleolithic restaurant. You're not going to create the whole thing, but you are going to make a menu for it. And your job is to follow the directions on page 7, like it said. Oh, look at all those groups. Whew, man. And you're going to come up with 3 main dishes, 2 appetizers, and a dessert for a restaurant that serves only food that a hunter-gatherer would be able to put together. You'll have to do a little research on hunting and foraging diets, and I would suggest you look into the paleo diet, like Paleolithic. And then on the outside, you'll make it look like an actual menu, and on the inside, you will have the following: the locations where the ingredients can be found, how long it would take to gather enough of those foods for 25 people, and the time of year you could serve your menu item. And on the right side of the inside of the menu, you'll have the appetizers, 1, 2, main dishes, 1, 2, 3, and your dessert, 1. Moving on to the next set of expectations, you will create an example of cave paintings from your area. This is where you will actually find the cave paintings and recreate them. And your job is to recreate them in a very detailed way, in a complete way. We do not want to just simply get a piece of paper, draw a handprint on it, and say we're done. We want to make it look as authentic as possible. And if you need anything from me, you will email me or write down to me what tools or instruments you might need. The next part is a world map with your cave location highlighted. I want to know where your people were when they made the cave paintings. Next, you'll make a paragraph explaining why you chose to live in that place. Then another paragraph explaining why you can't just stay in one place your whole life. Why you are nomadic, meaning you can't stay in one place your whole life. And another paragraph explaining what you would need if you wanted to stay in the same place for your whole life. As far as presentation goes, your group is completely in charge of deciding how you will present this information. As long as you can follow the directions for each section, then you can display it in any creative way you can come up with. We'll go to page 8 and you can see more directions there. And then on page 9 is the grading and unit timeline. Let's go down to page 8. There we go. Cave paintings, world map, paragraph about location, paragraph about nomadic life, and paragraph about how to stay in one place forever. There's more directions there. The unit timeline looks as follows. Week 1, you should learn about the unit guide. You're doing that, congratulations. Complete the vocabulary activity. It's a separate assignment on the Google Classroom. You have to submit separately, all 120 of you. And start researching your cave paintings. Week 2, I suggest you do your Paleolithic menu, the cave painting example, and your world map. And week 3, I suggest you do your 3 paragraphs and prepare for your presentation in front of the class. You will be presenting this work in front of the class, and I'll be watching for the following things. Your menu, worth 10 points. Your painting example, worth 10 points. World map, 10 points. Each paragraph is worth 10 points for a subtotal of 30 points. And your group participation of 40 points. Your total being out of 100. Now I'll be marking that on your group's page that I will have to grade. And at the end, we'll also do a survey where you can help me understand how well your group worked together. And if there was one person doing a lot of the work, or if it was really, really well organized and really well spread out. My biggest suggestion for you as you take on this large amount of work is to split it up. Everyone has to do the definitions. But after that, you could have somebody do this, and 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 somebody do this. And some of you will have to double up on things, but you can split up the work evenly to make it a little bit lighter of a load. If for some reason you were able to finish everything before the 3 weeks are over, wonderful, I have an extra assignment for you that I think you'll enjoy. It's an art project that I think will be a lot of fun for you. Anyhow, this is the unit guide, and I hope it is helpful. And if you are confused on the directions, I invite you to come back to this and watch this video again. Thank you so much for your time, and happy hunting and gathering.